everyone, Pratima here, and one thing we all know is that Samsung's flagship S series lineups have been a tremendous success. The S23 Ultra, last year's S24 Ultra and the newly launched S25 Ultra all were and are awesome flagship phones. But in reality, Samsung generates more revenue from their mid-range A series phones. As per Counterpoint research, there are over 89 million users of A series in India alone. And Samsung India wants to reach 100 million in 2025 with their latest A series phones, the A26, A36 and A56. The A56 is their most expensive A-series phone, and for the last few days I have been daily driving this phone, and what I can say about this device is that it feels a bit overpriced at 42,000 rupees for the base 128GB variant. I think we're paying like 15 to 20% premium for the Galaxy A56 because of two main reasons. Number one, software, and number two, Samsung's brand value. Otherwise, there are plenty of cheaper options from Chinese brands that provide better value, like the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, the OnePlus 13R, and even the Honor 200 Pro, which is currently available for as little as 40,000 rupees. But I think a lot of people are still going to get the Galaxy A56 over other phones because it just gets the job done. This phone scores a solid A or B in all the categories, although there are a few things which Samsung should have done better here. And since I like to think of myself as a positive person, let me start with the good things, and the design here is top class. There's an aluminum frame, Gorilla Glass Victus Plus protection on both the front and the back. You get a more likable camera module, and the overall design aesthetics just feels like you're carrying an expensive phone. I also like this olive color variant that I have with me. The fingerprints and smudges are less visible here. It's thinner and much lighter than last year's Galaxy A55 too, hence it feels really good in the hands. Although these edges could have been less sharp for a more comfortable grip. Samsung also hasn't missed out on an official IP67 dust and water resistance, which is almost as good as the IP68 rating we get on the Galaxy S25. However, I think Samsung could have done better with the bezels on the front. It's quite thick, especially if I keep it side by side with the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I also think Samsung should now be going with a faster fingerprint sensor. The one here is just not very fast. Other than that, the display here is really good. The color reproduction, white balance and warmth are so good. It will offer you a great multimedia experience, be it while watching Instagram Reels, YouTube videos or Netflix. By the way, you do get HDR10 playback support in both Netflix and Amazon Prime on this device. The brightness is also reasonably good. It can reach 1200 nits in high brightness mode, which isn't a record-breaking number, but the sunlight legibility is decent and it can get super dim too. The one area where I'm surprised with the Galaxy A56 is the performance. It uses the in-house Exynos 1580 chipset, about which I initially thought, why Exynos again? Because the Exynos chipset in the past always used to perform slow and used to overheat a lot. But this year's Exynos 1580 is on the right trajectory. It's a good improvement over last year's Exynos 1480, and it's also slightly better than the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 and the 7S Gen 3. Plus, I have never noticed it getting warm. It stayed cool while I was gaming for more than 30 minutes or performing wildlife stress tests. And with the new One UI 7, everything feels respectably smooth. It indeed feels smoother than the Vivo V50 and even the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. The 120Hz refresh rate here is quite optimized and the whole UI feels refreshing. The multitasking tray, the notification panel, charging animation, everything. However, one thing you ought to know is that we don't have all the One UI 7 features here as compared to the S25 Ultra. For example, the Now bar I loved so much on my S25 Ultra has very limited functionality. I cannot trigger Gemini by long pressing the power button. It opens Bixby and I have to swipe from here to access Gemini. The AI features are also quite low and it does not work as well too. Plus, there is no AI summary, no AI translation, and even grammar check here. Another aspect which is a potential deal breaker for some users is the gaming performance. Here, PUBG Mobile only runs at 30 FPS. Yes, only 30 FPS. But with future updates, it should support up to 60 FPS. But still, it is not as good as other phones at a similar price bracket. The battery life situation is also a solid B plus here, but I wish Samsung had opted for a silicon carbon battery here and included a 6000 mAh unit instead of a 5000 mAh one. Chinese companies are ahead in this aspect since they are using 6500 mAh cells on their mid-range phones, and there's even rumors that Honor is going to launch a phone with 7800 mAh battery on the Honor 400 series. What's nice is that we get a 45 watt charging support here, up from 25 watt, and with this it refills much faster if you have the compatible power delivery adapter and a 5 ampere cable. Okay, let me now talk about the things where Samsung could have done better, and the camera is one aspect where I do think the Samsung Galaxy A56 should be doing better considering the price. Sadly, we get the same hardware as last year, with the only change being the 12 megapixel selfie camera, which now gets a bigger sensor. Hence, I found the camera performance to be just B or a B plus if I'm being really generous. First of all, I think Samsung should have included a 3x telephoto lens here. Maybe they could have borrowed the one on the S24 FE, that 10 megapixel 3x lens, which would have resulted in much better portraits. Right now, its 50 megapixel camera crops the photos digitally to 2x for portraits, and if I zoom in these photos, it's not very sharp. Although the skin tone and bokeh look fine. Regular daytime photos are also nice most of the time. It has vibrant colors and accurate white balance, but I have been in situations where I think photos from this phone could have been brighter. Just look at this photo I shot from the A56 and the Vivo V50. Vivo's output is brighter. The ultra-wide camera here is nothing exciting either. You do get a wider field of view, but in challenging situations, there's shadow crushing and subpar dynamic range issues. And when I'm clicking photos during nighttime, there is this issue with the night mode. Both the main and the ultra-wide camera's photos in night mode have desaturated and bizarre output. Hopefully, this will be solved with an update. Likewise, there is no 4K 60 FPS recording option from all of the lenses, although I must admit the 4K 30 FPS footages come out decent with good enough stabilization, skin tone and colors. Selfies are also pretty nice. I found it to process skin tone better than what we got on the Galaxy A55.
Even from the front, the maximum resolution you can shoot in is 4K 30 FPS, but I won't complain because the skin tone is really nice and the video is stable as well. The only thing is the field of view is a bit narrow because I have to stretch my hands all the way to get myself in the frame, but other than that, the quality is really good.
So overall, if I have to rate the Galaxy A56 out of 10, it would be a 7 out of 10. This is quite low since the Galaxy S25 Ultra is a solid 9, but Samsung is a veteran in the smartphone industry and they know that people are still going to pay that premium for a Samsung phone. Plus, Samsung is one of the few brands that's got the technical ability to provide 6 years of updates even on their mid-range phones. They've got the most retail outlets and service centers, and they have the easiest no-cost EMI available wherever you're from, all thanks to Knox Security. So it's a much safer and easier option to get for most users as compared to the Nothing Phone 3a Pro, the Honor 200 Pro, the OnePlus 13R or any other Chinese phones out there, which might offer better value. That's actually the harsh reality. Alright everybody, that was all for our full review of the Samsung Galaxy A56. What do you think about the device? Do let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Saying this, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.